5 seconds. Dire team ban. Radiant team ban. Dire team ban. Ten seconds remaining. Radiant team ban. Dire team pick. Radiant team pick.
Grimstroke.
I'm
10 seconds remaining.
Welcome back to the
5
BTS Pro
seconds
Series
remaining.
Season 6. We've got our second series of the last day for the group series. It's going to be Motivate taking on
Radiant
SMG.
team pick.
And for both these teams, it is also their last series for the group stages as well. We're looking to see if Motivate
Dire
can
team
continue
pick.
to cement their spot at the top of the table. And while for SMG, they're just playing for a
Dire
little bit of
team back.
momentum heading into the playoffs.
Enchantress.
That's right, making sure. Look, got any series left?
No.
Radiant team Dire team ban. Radiant team ban. Dire team ban. Radiant
Motivate,
team
they're a
ban.
lineup.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, they are quite the team to go up to. Looks like Motivate have a little bit different priority with their bans instead of other teams that we've seen so far. They got rid of the Omni Knight and the Elder Titan. We've been seeing previously it's a lot of the ET and Enchantress ban, but they're like, you know
5
what?
seconds
We're not
remaining.
worried about the Enchantress, we just don't want to see KP on his Omni.
Sure, and it makes sense. They just wanted to, the Grimstroke seems like core, set and forget for SMG, and there's always going to be something that slips through, right? We've seen many times Enchantress, Elder Titan banned out, Grimstroke's available. Grimstroke's banned out, Enchantress or Elder Titan are available, so they're just going to go back and forth, always opening up with one of these supports. It's a little predictable. I would say it's been working out for them so far, but that would probably be a lie.
Radiant team pick.
And with this Enchantress, I wonder what they're going to do with it as well. Like, is this going to be an position 5 Enchantress? Are they going to go a little bit more greedy with it? They do have the flexibility, for sure, on their team, but they're going to need some frontliners. Later on, Enchantress can start to build up a
10
little bit of
seconds
stats. It's going to
remaining.
have probably that Holy Locket
Dire
going
team
into the magic resistance talent at level 10. Super early Void. I mean, after a couple of those performances from Widmut, I'm a little bit surprised that they didn't just let him have it, but it's certainly something that Jackie's strong with as well.
10
Yeah,
seconds remaining.
I mean, for both teams, we're seeing a first phase of their
5
duo
seconds.
support, which
Radiant
is
team pick.
something that we haven't really been seeing too often. And then a very early opener for Motivate's Void. It does get answered by KP. He's going to get his classic Beastmaster, which is not as popular what it used to be, but it is still definitely a good matchup versus the Void. Oh, we all in. All right.
All right, all in on the Chronosphere Cataclysm combo. I'm liking this piece, this Beastmaster though. It's kind of like what people oftentimes pick the Venomancer to do against a Faceless Void. Lots of slow little
10
tick
seconds
damage, makes it
remaining.
so hard for you to even move around in the lane. You can oftentimes force
5
out
seconds
an
remaining.
earlier time walk than you might like by leveling up the
Dire
boars.
team ban.
They even have the potential of, moving around this Enchantress now to make things even harder for the Void. Or they could go for the kill potential with the Grimstroke. So some very good lanes coming out for at least the side lanes so far for SMG. what they're going to go for with their last pick
10
overall. The mid one
seconds
hero
remaining.
that's still
Team
yet to come
back.
out. It can't be a Deucer
Dire
now that
team
they've got
back.
this Invoker. And, a bit of a wonder, right? Because no matter what you pick, they're always going to fall to that Chronosphere Cataclysm combo. So maybe something like a Wraith King, if it has not been banned out already, would be the way that I would be going.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind the Wraith King at all as well. Like you were saying, they're very
5
reliant on their
seconds remaining.
cooldowns right now for Motivate. So if you go for a hero that's able to
Radiant
play
team
into that,
ban.
we've seen
Dire
time and time
team
again, the Wraith King is just too much to deal with. It's left in the pool. Get rid of the Slark, the Phantom Lancer, because they don't deal very well with illusions.
I mean, you're against an Invoker, so it's unfortunate that you're probably going to be suffering from that that EMP early on. You know, you don't need
10 seconds
the
remaining.
Sunstrike leveled up really early. It's not a ton of kill potential with it, but
5 seconds
I don't know.
remaining.
I still feel like this is a pretty damn good Wraith King game. Maybe an Ursa, other than that, but you're going to get kited around fairly easily. Like, it needs to be something with mobility. Morphling's kind of okay, and I suppose you've got a little bit more of that outplay potential coming through, you know, trying to catch out the Invoker or the Void before they can get off their combinations, but we shall see.
10 seconds remaining.
I'm trying to see the Fearless hero.
5
They
seconds
can't.
remaining.
I kind of wanted
The
to be
Master
someone
Hero?
that, Masteros. I kind of wanted to be someone that doesn't have a long cooldown stun, because I feel like a long cooldown ability. Because then I feel like you're really reliant on your team fight, and I think that's not how you want to play into someone like a Beastmaster, Enchantress. Like, SMG can get really active early. So, I mean, there's not a lot left available, which is worrying me. I hope they just don't go into the Tidehunter, which...
Bristle is banned, unfortunate. That would have been nice.
Phantom
You may
Assassin.
now select your
Offlane
heroes.
Void? It is.
Alright, let's go. Something a little different. It's what we like to see. Motivate don't need the win. SMG do. So they're going to be, hopefully, licking their lips at this this prospect. But when's the last time we saw an offlane face this Void? Like, Universe playing it?
Oh, what's going on? I saw China played it, I think, in the DPC. I don't remember.
Did it win?
I'm trying to remember. I didn't watch the whole game,
Okay.
but I remember seeing it relative, like, last DPC, so it has been recent. What is the reasoning for them wanting this last pick Phantom Assassin when you've got Faceless Void? Like, unless you catch him on the outskirts, yes, you can chuck the dagger, but it feels like you could have gone for maybe a better position one to be dealing damage in Chrono. And I feel like also the lane versus the Beastmaster, I thought they might have had a better matchup if you were going for your last pick.
I would have gone for a Troll Warlord. I'm not sure if it was banned out or not, but, you know, you can dish out damage inside the Chronosphere. You could use your abilities to more quickly clear out those boars. You're actually a ranged hero, or with potential for range. Whereas it feels like Jackie, he's going to have to toss out the daggers onto the boars to make sure he's not getting crushed in the lane. That means there's no harass coming through the other way as well, so opens up some decent kill threat. They should win the regen battle on SMG in that side lane, so I don't know, like, it's kind of all in onto this this Cataclysm combo. I suppose it's nice to be able to just go into a bit more.
Don't do
Like, a
that.
little unfortunate the Ags doesn't reduce the cooldown on Chronosphere anymore.
Nani?
What if you just went like Refresher Rush or something like that? I don't know.
I'm trying to remember the build that he went. I think it was Asking Madness into, like,
Ags?
BKB Blink or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't
Mind
like
the Ags
me-
against it, right? I feel like they need some sort of way.
Shard or the Scepter?
Both. Just to try and bait out a
Because,
few
yeah, it
abilities.
increases the cast rate. Wait. I feel like you want the Scepter over the Ags, right?
I want both.
But he's going to do no damage.
But you're an offlane, right? Damage isn't the issue. You've got a PA, you've got
30
Chronosphere, Cataclysm
seconds to
eventually,
battle.
and it gives you a way to get that initial lockdown onto the likes of a Morphling. You can deal damage
then
to
drop.
Enchantress.
Okay.
Right? Like, you're always going to hit the bash, right? If you go in, but then you're not
Yeah,
fully
okay.
committing either.
Yeah, and sometimes when you time walk in and drop chrono, like it's got a bit of a cast animation, so you actually get that initial stun. Okay.
Yep.
I guess, like if Lion's unable to fulfill that role, depends how farmed they are on.
The battle begins.
Should be
3 for
another
1.
old neutral
Or two for
2 for 2. As you do the old shrapperoo.
Astro's just picking out the bounty, saying, "Wait, where'd this go?"
Get back here, my boy. Alright, how are we feeling about this one? I mean, we got a bit of a wonky off-lane flex for the Faceless Void. Are we liking it for Motivate, or do we think mid one's Morphling and Co can take this?
I think it depends on what his item build is. Like, I really feel strongly about this Axe and Axe Shard. We can already see he's got a Ring of Health queued up. So, wanting to be able to withstand a lot of early magic burst, you would assume. He's going to maybe build into a hood for that initial survivability against the burst coming through from... Because they're lacking a little bit in stuns right now on SMG. You know, the setup from the Raw is going to be so important, and... I mean, there's so many targets that are important to be able to lock down, right? The PA, to be able to burst her down before she gets her mobility off. Same sort of thing with the Faceless Void. So, keen to see how they're looking to itemize here. Been a while since I've seen it, at least, this offlane Void. Weren't sure if it won in the Chinese region, but... It's okay. Like, you were talking about the Tide Hunter not wanting to go more into this this heavy cooldown reliance. Well, this kind of is a substitute for it, right? It kind of feels like that combination with the Ravage is essentially the same as the Chronosphere.
Man, I miss Universe. Wonder
what he's up to.
You know, I wonder. So exciting watching him play Dota. So exciting. The high caliber player that he was, and now it's just some unfortunate things, and we don't see the power offlane no more.
Where are you going?
Oof. That dude's MIA. So,
Love and life.
yeah. Love and life through COVID, that's how it be. He's going in. He's going inward, soul searching. Who knows?
I know, like, some of the other older figures from the scene, like ex-caster Lumi, for example. He's just spending his time playing a lot of Smash Brothers. He plays some board games as well. He's just having a chill life, you know?
That's all everyone wants in the end. Just a nice, relaxing life where the worries are limited and the fun is plentiful.
Mm-hmm.
So this, again, we are going to see Fearless on a little bit more of a... He's actually gone back into the XOR. He did this in that game we saw versus Southville. He went a couple levels in the Clossworks to start, well, 2 in Closs in particular for this game, and then back into the XOR, which he actually even has the Midas queued up. So looking to get greedy once again.
I suppose you always have that potential, right? You've got the stun set up from Lionax, you've got the cogs, which you're going to be able to use to go for kills. So I don't mind it. It's just a matter of, like, now you've essentially got 3 cores that don't do anything in the super early game. So those that first Chronosphere is going to be really key to the outcome of this game.
And that's a bit of an issue usually, because when you don't do anything versus someone like a Beastmaster, you can take objectives incredibly fast. I mean, it is definitely not a Beastmaster like we saw in previous patches, but still, if KP wants to go for that Helm Dom, then he can definitely put a lot of work on these objectives.
Might even see Helm of the Overlord. Never know.
Ooh. Afu. Just taking up some right-click damage. Lion got a little bit of advantage. Feels like trading-wise as well. 2 points Earth Spike, and also with those extra damage with the good old right clicks. So overall though, we feel like we're potentially going to see our first blood in this game 1.
Might be a bit of an issue towards the top side. I'm sure that's where SMG are looking to put a lot more of their attention, because Rogi's aggression, he's doing a fantastic job at zoning out this Faceless Void. He's had to buy multiple sets of tangos already, and even just used his TP back to the tier 1 tower. So Went for the bounty snipe at level 1, Rogi. Tried to go for it again. The movement from Pew's going to be able to block that, but they're just getting nothing out of this top side. And if Void does go back into lane, it's a pretty easy way to get the kill. He might be looking to make a bit of a rotation onto Fearless, or just be sniping away some of these camps here he might have been wanting to use to farm up a little bit more. This is the classic, like, puppy style, where, you know, you pick something, the extra cheeky, trying to go for a deep kill here. Level 6 picked up by Nia. No detection.
They're gonna get that first. Afu. Jackie that's able to pick that one up, so very nice rotation from Q's Clockwork coming down, and see Rogi and Nia trying to use this catapult for a potential dive, because Nia does have this big level spike in the 6 compared to what Invoker usually gets, but nice awareness from Fearless. Even going to drag the creep wave away, so this should allow the tower to finally get rid of the catapult.
In the last hit there was Q.
Structures are fortified.
Strike on the mark, cold snap follow-up. Arfu, they need to try and take up the battery assault here. Rogi will do so, but they still end up losing Arfu. Trader 1-for-1 in the supports. Fearless, no room or mana. Right click, not enough. Oh my, that was close.
Able to just sproink away was Rogi. But, you know, some nice early rotations around this mid lane. I think Motivate are going to be totally cool with this. They're actually going to make a play here. He's sitting on low mana, so I'm not sure if he's going to have enough for any kind of escape mechanism.
Oh, he sidestepped. Oh, that's quite the play, Fearless. They're trying to give him some mana. Cold snaps up. You wouldn't just predict the Sunstrike, would you? I don't think it's
not against a haste.
Nah, come on. If you make that play, then it's getting clipped. That's what Fearless, he's going for that. You want that ball of play.
That's true. He is hungry for the power. Power of clout.
It's a powerful thing.
And straight back to the mid lane is Rogi, wanting to keep the harass up onto Fearless. Okay. It's having a decent start. You know, sitting towards the bottom end of the net worth charts. Masaros is the one that's really been suffering quite heavily.
Where are you going?
Sunstrike setup. This is what we saw in their previous game with the Invoker. But it does leave Fearless a little bit vulnerable for a dive. Lion Axe tipping forward. Fearless got another round of the abilities. Cold Snap controlling up Nia. Get some protection of the Resonant Pulse. He's actually even going to commit on forward, because he still has another use of the actual set. In and out constantly. Nia's Void Spirit popping off in this game on 3-0. And we see so often. And it's just the pressure. Like, this is really showing the greediness of the Motivate lineup. Like,
Yeah,
Toki's going to TP in. I was literally just going to say, like, you can't have a position 1 that's going to try and TP to the mid lane. You've got an off lane Void. Like, what's that going to do? So SMG, really, they are doing quite the job to reveal the weaknesses early for Motivate.
Yeah, for sure. And even there, just being able to use the Resonant Pulse, there were 3 heroes that it clipped onto, so a lot of extra absorption coming through. What is that? Let me do my quick AU math. 300, which meant that the Cold Snap onto wasn't doing any damage. So they weren't actually able to get those mini stuns. He was able to continually chase down. So get the kill. They're trying to go for a kill here onto Fearless again. He's just TP back.
Back up. Get the Sunstrike connection, but Nia's out of mana and also out of a lot of health as well. So they'll punish both 2 heroes and turn it into a third as Rogi will fall. Great play. Finally Motivate. They're bringing all the numbers here, but it's just, I mean, what are we feeling for Fearless? That's 2 deaths now, and this is a hero that really thrives on having a free early game, especially when you're going for this greedy Exalt Midas.
Yeah, I think if he'd already picked up the Midas and, you know, used it, it was on cooldown, it would be fine. Because when you look at what they're actually losing as a result of all of it, mid one clearly at the top of the net worth charts. KP has been able to push out this bot lane already. It's such a weird place for Masteros to be farming. I mean, this is what we were worried about might happen in the laning stage, but even with this off-lane Void, you're going to continue to have trouble getting anything out of a Beastmaster lane.
And meanwhile, you contrast the cause right now. Like, everyone is free farming top. Yeah, they will get measly Enchantress. Pulls them off the tower a little bit, but they're not doing any damage right now. So what do we got? We got Chrono. Where's the damage? It's 4 points Exort if my R's aren't playing up, and the way I'd hope they're not at such an early age.
It'll be about that 300 pure damage though, so It depends who you can catch. Mid one, he's in full agi form right now.
Is under attack.
He's really committed. Fire double
Cronus
use of
here.
the ultimate. And this time, mid one's going to commit on 4. Great Chronosphere onto 2 to the Sunstrike. Just gets the clip on the Void Screen. That's all the damage they needed to bring down Nia.
Nice stuff.
Mid one's going to be careful as well because he showed up for the fight. 2-man Tornado. They try and target down the Grimstroke during that mid one. He committed forward with the waveform and it's going to be very difficult for him to get back to safety. Even KP showed up. Fortunately, the Cogs not going to push mid one back. Raw solo on the clockwork with the boards. There's plenty of damage. Mid one, don't go back in the Sunstrike. Oh, so close. It's still slowed down the waveform dilation, allowing them to continue chasing further and further into the river. But Nia's respawn and Nia's going to punish.
That was so close. Mid one was getting greedy. He wanted to use the adaptive strike to secure that last hit onto the clockwork. Nearly ends up costing him his life. That just missing with the Sunstrike there, and well, this is what happens. We were talking about the Beastmaster draft. You've got that inner Beast Aura, you've got the Siege Creep alongside you, all of these units that you don't do a good job of clearing out, at least until that PA's got the Battle Fury. I believe she's... no, doesn't actually have it coming out to her yet. The full broadsword away.
What is KP? He's gone solo crest, so it's okay.
Yeah, makes sense. Just wanting to buff up his units, buff up a Siege Creep. That's when KP's going to be looking to make a lot of these rotations happen.
And it also feels like it gives them a very early roach potential. They didn't really have it beforehand with any minus armor because very much reliant on their cooldowns and can't fight early because of the greediness. So if they waste the chrono, then instantly SMG can punish for Roshan. So that's another thing that this Solar Crest will provide them. And like you said, also heavily buffing up mid one.
Alright, so at least Fearless has his Midas now. He's able to continue farming, play a little bit more passively around the map. And they've got a couple of deep wards, which is quite nice. I'm hearing a hook shot here.
They've got the Finger of Death. Sunstrike needs the damage. Oh, this helps Fearless get another kill. It will cost him his life.
And Jackie.
It's also going to cost Jackie his life too. Great movement from SMG. Unfortunately losing mid one, but you get both the position 1 and position 2 of Motivate.
You're going to be more than happy with that. The pressure just continues here. Going to force a super early glyph.
Radiant's
Unless you're
middle
wanting to
tower is
lose a
under
decent
attack.
amount of tower damage. I suppose they don't have the crit wave to be able to continue to push in. Yeah, I mean, it's a bit of a do-nothing draft so far by Motivate. Azeroth so poor right now.
Radiant's middle tower
bounties.
is under attack.
Yoink.
He's always... what? I would be taunting if I get 3 bounties.
I mean, that's going to help Azeroth for sure.
Need a little bit of
Dire are
assistance on his life, unless he can just be Duke God. Looks like that he can. Meanwhile, we see Nia pick up mid.
Your knowledge may be
Stun into
Nice,
Sunstrike.
looks like with the setup. Yeah.
Dire's bottom
They're going to be able to find
tower
KP
is under
too. Jackie just gives the information. KP on the top side of the map here. Looks like he was trying to put a little bit of pressure on the Tier 1 tower and start to infiltrate the jungle, but he's going to get punished.
Q, part of a lot of these early rotations, making a ton of stuff happen. He's been part of 10 out of the 12 kills, even though still the net worth lead is in SMG's favor. Not looking nearly as bad now that you're able to get that pick off. It feels like as long as they don't have Nia, you're doing just fine.
Yeah, Nia is their damage early on, and a lot of their
Radiant's bottom
playmaking as
tower
well.
is under attack.
Is he?
I have never
He's
seen
not.
an
Dire's
Echo
top
Saber.
towers are fortified.
Nia?
Dire's top tower
Should
is
get a
under
kill on
attack.
Fearless.
The void might
He's not going Echo Saber, right? Like, this is just a awkward build up into, oh crap, I need a bit, like, I Echo? Bot lane? Azeroth is okay. I don't have the control for Nia, although he did heavily commit forward with all his ulti charges. KP charging forward. Alright, Dano, this is, again, why they pay you the big bucks. You might not get a chance right now, Masteros. Man, there are so many shenanigans going on right now across the map.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
I'll wait for the action to stop. Actually, here we go.
On to mid one.
He soaks it up. Nicely done.
With us.
Tanks the damage with the Sunstrike. Now Q, he's in a really awkward position from the clockwork. He'll end up falling. Meanwhile, Dire making a really cute maneuver with this smoke. They're going to be able to capture out Jackie. Great awareness. SMG recognizing that the Phantom Assassin not going to be getting involved in that team fight and that he wants to be farming around the top side. So they smoke, get the pick up. Meanwhile, this fight is continuing down bot. Next up is the Morphling. Mid one doesn't have too much stuff to play with. They've got the control. Mid one will fall. He's still going to show up. He's got the Arcane Rune in the arsenal. Is this going to be enough? He jumps on top of Fearless. Doesn't have any protection. Again, Fearless. He's going to get caught out this greedy Exort build. Not paying off this game for Fearless's Invoker. And Nia still with the Arcane Rune is looking to punish here. They're going to think about going up the high ground. Astral Step still on cooldown, so they will get back to safety.
Good positioning by Q to be able to protect his cause. Hoping for the lucky crits in onto Rogi, but not going to happen.
He has an Echo Saber. All right.
I can think about it. They're still here, though. They're still here. I know why, but...
You know why? All right.
Well, I have my opinion on why. I'm not sure if it's correct.
You said you know why. You said you know why.
Well, you can disassemble it. Since 7.27b, you can disassemble the Echo Saber. So he's going to go like this God King style. Jackie might die here.
Jump in. Let's see this Echo Saber come to play. Never mind. Maybe it's KP, actually. Shot, Sunstrike. Easy setup for the kickoff. They don't have Chrono in case the team fight breaks out. Great prioritization, however, from the Void Spirit trying to jump Lion. It's a lot of the control and a lot of their bursts with the Finger of Death as well. Even Mid one's looking to get involved. Jackie just picked up the Battle Fury, but with this item, you want to be farming, not getting involved in these team fights. But because of SMG's constant pressure, he feels forced.
A lot of kills again. 16 and a half minutes in, 30 kills. Disassembling it. I think that's the reason why. You know, he wants a little bit more survivability for now. Eventually, you're going to disassemble it, maybe go back into the Orchid, maybe go into a BKB for yourself, or I don't know, Kaya and Sanj, something along those lines. Taking inspiration from God King, perhaps. I think I counted one game where he went like... He disassembled like 5 different items, it felt like. It was crazy.
He kind of...
He was the pioneer.
Yeah, felt like the pioneer, the person to invent this disassemble kind of... What we call meta? I don't know. They smoked underneath the hall.
It's just a playstyle, not a meta. Be able to catch that Lion Axe.
Go Saber, go to work! Got him.
You haven't failed. This was your greatest success.
Here is definitely popping off. 10, 3, and 4. Yeah, so is the next item of choice here for your Void Spirit. What's the Invoker got?
Are scanning.
Is scan correct?
2 components left until the axe.
This is gonna be on cooldown.
You don't think he's gonna die? I think he should be okay.
Radiant's
It's still on cooldown, it doesn't matter.
TP spot, he's good.
No, it's the efficiency what matters.
Fearless, you gotta use it.
What's that, 7 seconds?
Trash. He's got Exort maxed out now.
Ooh, it is quite nice to be able to take Roshan.
All of that extra attack speed, that Solar Crest as well, come into effect, and the Alpha Wolf, if you don't mind. Buff up the damage further. Got Clockwork, and they're going to throw it in, but it's going to be too late.
If they tried to attempt that, and Invoker had Aghanims and Radiant were aware, then that could have been a disaster of a zone to fight in. But, get the Aegis, Morphling, able to pick that one up a very early Roshan kill for them.
They had the nice deep ward though, right? So,
yeah.
What's going to happen? And KP as well had the Hawk available. So, SMG, they feel comfortable to be able to take it, but... Yeah, it just keeps ticking further and further. You can see Masteros, Fearless, they're playing around each other, wanting to provide a little bit of extra protection. Missing on the Earth Spike. I don't know if you can continue to do this.
They're gonna hook back on KP. Even Chrono committed. Rogi actually doesn't get stuck in the Chrono. Now that's on cooldown, along with the Cataclysm. So Dire, they're gonna think about fighting, knowing that the big abilities are all wasted here just for the kill on KP. Get both the supports. Radiant. More space for Jackie though. Trying to farm up that BKB. I don't know if they're going to be able to give him a whole lot of time as Azeros
should get away.
One little man.
Yep, so you can see here, Axe
Radiant's
Shard,
middle tower
what he's going
is
into
under
next.
attack.
In 20 seconds. So probably just going to walk on back to base, perhaps. Get his mana back. Purchase it up. I suppose mid needs defending.
It's a game where we haven't seen Motivate get as many pickoffs as what they did versus Southbuilt when they had this Invoker. It was a bit different over an offlaner. They had that Liege in that game, so it's slightly easier, but even with the clockwork and a Lion, it's still, you have the capability. But I feel like it just comes down to the gameplay of SMG. Like they're the one that is up in the Invoker's face, and it makes it very difficult for Motivate to set up on the map for these pickoffs.
That, plus the lanes were kind of trash, so, you know, you're always going to have hard time dealing with that. As, well, Jackie, he's revealing in the lane here. You've got the Primal Roar and an Arcane Rune. That's going to be enough to take out that PA.
Your life cycle ends.
So can Masaros try and bait out a few bigger spells with the use of that Aghanim Shard?
It should be
Radiant
a
structures
tier 2
are
tower, though.
fortified. Dire's top
Yeah,
tower
there we go.
is under attack.
Very nice. Maybe you got one right click in.
Radiant's middle
now?
tower is under attack.
I mean, they know they don't have the
Radiant's
Roar,
middle
right? So there's no,
tower has
like,
fallen.
absolute instant lockdown, but it's still a scary prospect. Chrono 30 seconds away. Oh, they're going to continue to commit here.
That's not a bad replicate target. Dilation, very nice for someone like the Invoker.
They're just trying to make sure that the Seed Creep dies, but mid one, he's putting himself on the front lines, making sure it still lives. He's got the Aegis to be able to play around with, and I'm sure they've got a timer on that Chronosphere cooldown as well.
He doesn't get the attribute shift. They want to burst him down with a finger or drop some extra combos. Get the protection. Now they're focusing down Q's clockwork.
Masaros needs mana.
Commit.
He needs mana.
Oh, well, Jackie's back alive. BKB still to get completed. There goes the Chrono Cataclysm on both the heroes in the backline. They'll tear apart the Grimstroke. Beastmaster's gonna fall as well. Great use of the abilities from Motivate, but they're looking to try and catch more. Mid one, he can turn a man fight, but mid one, a little bit of miscommunication. Neo actually wants to retreat away. Now the hesitation puts mid one in an awkward position, bashed up twice in a row, and Fearless should be able to chain lock him down. He needs to come back over, but it's a bit too late here. That's the attribute shift, Finger of Death's going to be there with the Hex follow-up, Rocket Flare, all the damage trying to be used. Mid one, Tornado, but they're still able to catch him in the tree line, and the Morphling's down. SMG, back-to-back games here. They walk up the high ground and throw a massive lead.
Lead's still in their favor, but finally you get a good use of that Chronosphere together with the Cataclysm, of course. And well, that's not even a heavy amount committed from your PA either. Had very minimal involvement into that. He's in close to the BKB for himself, and he can start to look to frontline now that you're not having to worry about taking out the two lives.
Oh, well, Fearless, he's going to get caught. Great catch from KP, that blink coming into play here. So that Dire, their pickoffs on key targets are really starting to ramp up, and just showing across the map with how they're playing as well. That is BKB though completed, I believe, on Jackie we just see.
Yes. I'm not sure if I'm super crazy about this. Who they found out here? KP actually blinks into two. In on the backlines, Q, what a shot!
Like Q finds all three, you bet you wish you had Cataclysm. Mid one's gonna try and replicate forward. I mean, Q's space nets them the kill on KP, but Mastros is still slowed down by the Dilation, and Rochi's got the micro as well to further lock him in. You're gonna end up losing two. You'll have the Invoker up in a couple seconds here. There's a lot of your defense. Let's see if it's enough though.
What an attempted play coming through there from the Clockwork. Like you said, if they had Cataclysm, that would have been an enormous turnaround, but not quite enough. They've got to try it. He
brings the attribute shift. Neo moving in forward now with the silence. Finds multiple. Jackie's in trouble as well. The BKB's on cooldown. He's got a Phantom Strike target.
Radiant's middle
Void's
barracks
up
are
soon,
under attack.
but without the Cataclysm,
Radiant's middle barracks
lacking a lot of the damage, so they'll get a full set of racks mid. SMG is still sticking around.
Why not? You know they're so cooldown reliant. It's going to be up in 10 seconds.
It's under attack.
Long time for that Cataclysm. 70 seconds away from Cataclysm.
Q baited them. Masros, Chronos still cooldown's about to come back. I think he drops it, he does. On to 2, the EMP, but where's all the damage for right now? They're bashing down mid one, but it's slow to get the wave from away. Feels the stun on 2. Saw by Raw, still the Morphling protected for the moment. Spirit was out though, he's falling low. Bashes are required, and they're there. They'll find the triple. Jackie's able to push on forward.
Twice the
What a great chrono. Even without the damage, you just see the follow-up afterwards, locking them in, disrupting that fight, and it allowed Motivate to have the advantage there.
Bounty.
He was playing out of his mind this game. You know, he was part of all of the early game rotations, playing a lone hand essentially, and that's a couple of times now where he's just gotten that hook shot in onto the backlines. He baited it out that time as well. A lot of these key aggressive movements coming through from SMG. It's going to keep Motivate Trust in this game. And that's just with a Vessel. Like, he has nothing else other than a Vessel. He's going to eventually be able to go into that 4-star. It'd be really nice to be able to get away from, you know, some of these primal roars, these lockdowns. Void Spirit wants to try and get onto them as well. Of course, being able to snap that Grimstroke ulti, very handy as well. Provide a lot more ability to Masaros as well as Jackie.
I mean, Jackie is now top of the net worth here for the Phantom Assassin. As they should get a solo on Rogi.
You can have 4-star.
Okay, never mind. Great use from Rogi's force, and now they're actually going to have to TP out.
He went for the bullwhip, blink forward into the roar. Not going to commit. I don't know how I feel about the Ags on KP.
Dire's top tower is
Arcane
under
Blink,
attack.
perhaps, might be a good way to go about it. Yeah, he's not going to go Ags anymore. Just go Sep to make sure he's not getting taken down by this PA, because it feels like perhaps he's retreating a little bit early from a few of these team fights, not wanting to put himself at risk of dying, but that means no Solar Crest, no Inner Beast Aura. You're not quite as capable of turning around
Dire's
a man
top
fight.
tower is under attack.
I mean, late game, I do like the Morphling matchup versus the PA, because you've got a considerable amount of armor, because of being the Agi form. Shotgun is very good versus the Phantom Assassin too. You can maybe pop a BKB or burst her down, get to the early stages, because now we already see PA's got 2200 health thanks to the BKB and Sanjin Yasha, so... But it is still going to be a pretty good matchup here for mid one. Just feels like he's going to be cautious, of course, getting caught out before the attribute shift. That is...
He's been very good with it so far, though.
He has.
Every single time he's been able to get it off. And
maybe...
second Roche. They're going to know this time, though. Yep, hook shot, available, smoke, up, rocket flare, reveals.
A great positioning, though, from Rogi. And they're actually going to make the long maneuver around. They should get there in time. They've got a great Absorb Ward on the back line as well.
Will Q get there in time, though?
They're going to see the positioning, though. Observer Sentry, so Dire scout this out. Jackie instantly jumping on Rogi. Try to get out of Chrono! It's up to 2 with the Deckard Blast combination with the Cataclysm. They're going to be able to bring down both of them. Morphling control. He's got the mantle if he wants to get out of the Spirit Vessel, but he's still going to get brought down. No! Away from away, mid one back to safety. Tornado's going to end up clipping him. So far, it's not enough. Killed 4, but he's got to buy back to rejoin the fight with the T1 tower. Cogs put back. He's coming through from Masaros. Look at the chain lockdown. The target prioritization, SMG will turn. They'll deal with the Invoker if he wants to try and rejoin the fight as well, but it's a heavy commitment from SMG. With the buyback from Wall, they'll be able to catch him out. Hex, figure it out. He's in trouble. He needs help, but he needs it now. Cogs pushed away, but mid one. Back down, waveform once again. Trying to deal with the supports, he'll be able to do so, but it costs you your backline as well. And on mid one, he's got no escape, he's got nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Waveform tornado clips onto both. Feels a clutch buyback, giving them the control. It's an ultra for Jackie. Give him the rampage. Going to distance there. A rampage for Jackie's Phantom Assassin.
A rampage for the PA, as well as the dieback on both the Enchantress, and more importantly, mid one's Morphling. And what do you know? Aegis still there, still available, and they're able to just go in and take it. Midas is on cooldown, so come on, Fearless, step it up.
Roshan has fallen into the Radiant.
Who's gone and taken it? He's gone for the triple meteor. Okay. I don't know. I kind of feel like you got to give it to Q, right? Give him the jetpack. Look at how much that's affected the net worth as well. 80% to 20. Huge net worth swing happening in Motivate's favor. Almost all of it going over to Jackie as well. Of course, that buyback's so expensive for the Morphling. Cost him 1,300 gold to be able to do so. They hadn't even lost a tier 1 tower, but ends up baiting them into a fight where they thought that they could win.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
What a turnaround. It's back-to-back games that they have now blown open some big leads.
Dire's middle tower
last game
is
there was a
under attack.
9,000 swing. They had a 5,000 net worth lead. Now it's 9,000 in Motivate's favor, so 14k swing. Gonna be even more as well.
And you know what's kind of disgusting? That team fight went on for so long that the Chronosphere's already back off cooldown.
Dire's middle
You know,
tower has
he's
fallen.
just going to hit up onto his level 20 as well here on Messeros.
Do we like this Skadi build up for the Void? Is this just gonna make sure he doesn't get bursted and can get the Chrono off? Is that kind of what he's thinking? I know the Skadi is good versus the range cores as well, but
I guess. I still really want to see the Axe. I feel like it's an amazing way, especially now that you've hit your level 20, you've got that minus 2-second time walk talent. Like, you're not worried about dealing right-click damage in the middle of a team fight. You can see he's all utility, even just holding onto a Grove Bow to maximize his chance for the bashes as opposed to damage.
that meatball is a very wide range. How do you... That's gonna be really wonky. Will it actually work in Chrono? It feels like you might...
Well, one of them's going to hit. The middle one will hit.
One, yeah. I thought maybe the second might. I didn't know the range was that wide.
I mean, it might guarantee that... Jackie, you're a little far forward here. Oof. Kicking into the knife, revealing their position.
Oh, the crit! Rips to Enchantress. Astros Chrono's gonna be there once again. Cataclysm for Morphling. He's been able to get the attribute shift. You've got to keep in mind, mid-one doesn't have a buyback as well, so they need to bring him down if they can target him. He'll be able to get the Phantom Strike away thanks to the replica, but Jackie is
on the hunt.
well and truly alive. Bash Carton's there! Q's clockwork the entire game has been so on point. 3 down, no buybacks, and they can walk down mid.
Yeah, creep waves here. No siege creep, but who cares when you've got Jackie hitting like an absolute truck. He's got his courier waiting there at the secret shop. He wants to be able to have that satanic available for himself as quickly as he can. Actually, never mind. It's waiting in his own jungle.
Radiant
Feels
structures
getting his
are
courier
fortified.
sniped.
Vanished.
Dire's middle tower
Tier
has
3.
The
fallen.
satanic boys.
Dire's middle barracks are under attack.
Oh, they're gonna have to make sure they keep those
Dire's middle
creeps up.
barracks has fallen.
But unfortunately, they're gonna run into tower range, so they might have enough time to get... Oh, I say that, Alacrity with PA hits goddamn hard. Maybe a melee racks even.
No, they'll get
Fast
both.
enough.
No, Morphling. Like, there's no way you can stop this without mid one.
The backdoor protection is gonna keep it?
Dire's top barracks has fallen.
You got minus armor anyway. It's fine. And KP dies to the support rotation. I mean, come on. This is... It's getting to that stage where it's like, if the supports are able to kill a Beastmaster that's pretty decently farmed, it's looking quite rough. Look at Q's net worth. He is doing so much this game. He's nearly got his Ag Scepter.
Oh no. Mid one, they are starting to set up on you.
Oh. Shit. Oh, actually, no, he's still in Agi form.
It's our Cataclysm, they've locked him out, he's low health as well.
Sprites are with us.
Cataclysm's not enough. Phantom Strike back to safety with Rogi, needs the waveform away and he will. Great use of the positioning from Rogi, keeps your carry alive.
Better next time.
Now it's time to get these lanes shoved out in a respectable position.
it feels so
Dire's
bad when you go
bottom tower
something
is
like this
under attack.
Enchantress, go this hard to kill build with the Holy Locket, with the Force Staff, with the Nature's Attendants and the Magic Resistance talents, and then Jackie just comes in and
Dire's
crits you
bottom
down to
tower
basically
has
nothing in
fallen.
one hit. Speaking of Jackie, they hit level 25 with this neutral camp, loses the Aegis, but doesn't really matter because he already had the BKB available just sitting on in his backpack, so he's doing just fine in terms of the farm.
Hey, we might still get to see the jetpack. Let's go. That's what we're here for.
Hang up. The double jetpack as well, overclock. Come through.
Uh-oh, they're underneath an observer ward.
Oh no, the triple as well, no bashes.
Stifling dagger, figure of death. They don't need no bashes when you got that amount of damage. KP will fall. And Mastros is still looking to sweep on the back mid one. Is really far outside the base. Get the bash first hit. Mastros is going to set up in the chronosphere as well. They're going to make sure they don't group up here. Mastros actually going to try and blink on the high ground. Jackie doesn't have any backup at the moment. KP Raw controlling up through the magic immunity. They won't get the double Raw. A little bit too late on the use of the Soul Bind, but they've done a great job to kite that first use of the BKB. Nia getting rid of the supports as well. The Chronosphere is a win from Mastros. In fact, it controls up the clockwork, so mid one freely right-clicking down Q. The lose the line to the support. That was a 3v2, but is it going to be
meatballs.
Mastros can he control him up? He can't. They'll get the cataclysm, but it's barely any damage. The main issue is that they need to protect mid one. Mantis still on cooldown. He's trying to play around with the attachment shield. He is helping out as well. Mid one gets his active strike. Mastros up for the high gun back down. It goes with the bash. Mid one is in trouble. He's going to fall. Jackie will get him. Needs bashed up as well. A triple for your Phantom Assassin, and they've had enough. Motivate. What an incredible comeback from them, able to take this game one.
And another ultra kill. Jackie, why not? And he's going to get all the flashy highlights and everything else going on. The rampage, you know, it adds to his stats.
5 seconds remaining. Dire team ban. Radiant team ban. Dire team ban. Radiant team ban. Dire team pick. Radiant team pick.
Elder Titan.
Let's do it. I'm going.
10 seconds remaining.
We're back
5
with the
seconds
BTS Pro
remaining.
Series Season 6. We got our second game here between Team SMG and the boys on Motivate Trust. And Danog, do we feel like this is a game where we might see another throw potentially come out? Because we got back-to-back throws here. It does at
10
least lead for
seconds
exciting Dota, but I'm sure the team that makes the
Dire
throws,
team
it's a different story for them.
It's weird, right? Because they've been in a position every single time to be able to take out the game. But it just feels like that high ground push. It's the sign of an inexperienced team that they're not able to fully coordinate, understand the
10
limitations
seconds
that they
remaining.
have. And it feels like they're just not
5 seconds remaining.
well. The Enchantress and the Elder Titan were not a pair that was let through, and Motivate, they're actually going to go back into the old standard Lion Axe ET, something that we haven't seen for quite a while, because they've been having some good success on a lot of these other heroes.
Luna.
Oh, I like it.
We've seen Dreamcell on Boom have a lot of success with the
Radiant
Luna.
team ban.
Again, I still just don't know how I overall
Dire
rate the
team
hero.
ban.
It depends. Like, if you're playing it in a pub, probably not that good. But if you've got the
Radiant team
coordination to be able to get multiple stacks off,
Dire
create space,
team
like
ban.
Motivate loves to
Radiant
do,
team ban.
you know, so many times before the 15, 20-minute mark, they would be going for 4-man smokes, just allowing Jackie to get that extra item that he needed. It kind of felt like when he got that BKB, they were able to turn things around because you didn't have the threat of being locked down by the Void Spirit in particular. So I feel like they might be able to do the same sort of thing here. Of course, Elder Titan, very capable of building up multiple stacks into the jungle, which also buffs up his own strengths in the early game. And a little bit of extra magic damage never hurts against the Tide Hunter, although with the way that Luna's being built these days, the Lucid B build isn't really a strength right now. You know, you're just going full in onto the Lunar Blessing and the Glaives, making sure that you've got the right click damage to be able to, you know, take that space that your team's been able to provide for you in Snowball. So oftentimes you won't see your first Eclipse until like the level 14 mark.
Back into the Lion though. It just feels like Motivator always getting the supports they're
10
really
seconds
comfortable on.
remaining.
Like, we get the ET for Lion Axe, the Lion here for
5 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Q, maybe even get that role play like we're always hoping when they pick up the Lion, who knows?
What, Lion X playing the Lion?
Yeah, that's gotta, like, I feel like, have we asked him if it's his favorite hero?
Don't think we have. He hasn't been playing it a huge amount, and Q's got a good line as well, so might not even be him playing it, right? I feel like the ET is a much better pairing anyway. It's something a little bit different, a bit more mid one-ish, wouldn't you say? Just something that's able to, you know, dive in, going onto the front lines. You're going to have a huge amount of burst damage coming through from that Warlock. The good old faithful Fatal Bonds.
10 seconds remaining.
And you'd probably say it's one of the better combos with the Warlock, right?
5
Like,
seconds
Gyrocopter?
remaining.
Yep, good in lane. For just being able to sustain with your low attack range, for being able to dive extra deep and use the rocket barrage to deal a lot of damage, and hell, even with the extra early points in the Fatal Bonds, you can deal out a ton of damage. LC being used, I suppose they wanted some sort of way to get rid of some of those Fatal Bonds on people, but not fantastic in the Gyrocopter as just a pure one-on-one matchup.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how does that lane really fare? Because it's a
10
lot of magic
seconds
damage, and it
remaining.
feels like Legion.
Radiant team
I don't know if you
ban.
can really man fight in that lane.
Yeah, no, it's a bit rough, but you know, I suppose they just want to play for a little bit more of the late game. You know, they've got some solid pick-off potential together with this line once the duel and Finger of Death becomes available, and I'm sure they're looking to get a nice active mid as well that's able to exploit a lot of that. Invoker's not banned, but I feel like it was one that got away from SMG that time around. They did
10
not have a
seconds
good
remaining.
early game on Motivate. This time around, at least they've got the LC, but
5 seconds
I feel like you
remaining.
might still be getting somewhat greedy if you were going to go into something like the Invoker again.
Setup-wise, it still does look pretty
Radiant
decent.
team ban.
Yeah,
And, you know, as the game goes on, Alacrity on Luna is always pretty scary. I just feel like they need something to be in the middle of fights early on, because Luna can't really fulfill that role. Legion likes to be able to use the Prestige attack more defensively.
Dire
So,
team pick.
I really like the Death Prophet ban.
yeah, and they get rid of the Invoker as well. So what else is left? Storm Spirit, a little bit. It's going to be great for picking off the Lena and the Warlock in particular, so you're going to make sure you need to be
Radiant
playing with the rest
team
of your
pick.
team.
Admiral Conquer.
Actually, Conquer, alright. That's the middle of a team fight for sure. Lots of team fight control. You're able to mitigate a lot of the damage with the Coco Rum, provided that you're able to get off the boat against these insane amount of burst magic damage that SMG has
10
if they get these
seconds
great
remaining.
Fatal Bonds combos off. How have you found Roger's positioning so far
5
this game?
seconds remaining.
You know, have you felt like he's been caught out of position a little bit too much? I think it's been okay for mine.
Yeah, I've been pretty impressed with Roger so far. I mean, I think SMG overall as a team has been looking a bit rough, but we saw
He nearly made the Pudge
he
work.
played,
So
yeah, nearly make the Pudge work. He played the Oracle previously, right? That past game.
Did he?
Or was it? Oh no, it was Zhao. It was Zhao. Sorry, it was Jin that played him. Yeah. I mean, this game he's going to have to be pretty on point with his positioning. Otherwise, it's a lot of that damage. And you take a look at the AoE synergy they have. They really need to land that fatals. They really need the rock as well. SMG have great turn potential.
Yeah.
Starting fights is very, very difficult.
So I think they need to go something like the Tide Hunter's decent at it. They've got a good amount of burst though to be able to lock down this Tide Hunter. And of course with the duel, that's one of the few things that you can't just shrug off with that Kraken shell and be able to run away. So I feel like SMG needs something A, that either does a lot of damage, or B, can just, again, stand in the middle of a team fight and brawl. Against a Conquer. So what are they going to be thinking against that? Could they go something like a Razor? Could they go something like Viper, perhaps? I mean, you can't stand your ground and fight as a Viper, but against the Conquer, you're doing alright. Kind of feeling the Razor a little bit.
Void
Choose your
incarnate.
hero.
Going back for the Echo Saber build, oh, it's actually a Nia gyrocopter. See, this is what, when they were on their losing streak before, remember what SMG did? They were like, you know what, let's give mid one a more mid one style hero and let Nia try and carry the game. And you know what? He did. He did just that. He had a good early game, and since he was given a bit more of the farm priority, he had the items to be able to drag it through to the late game. I kind of want to see in the playoff stage mid one playing mid again. Like, it just still feels like so much of his style of meta where he needs to be playing these flashy heroes. And, you know, give Nia the opportunity to play a bit more of that carry role.
We haven't really seen Nia play carry in too many of his teams, so that's the only issue. Like, how much experience was playing that carry from the mid. And I think the matchup as well, like, you've got an incredible amount of magical bursts. You know, we've seen a couple of these position twos on the gyro. I feel like Yopaj comes to mind, even Mac as well has absolutely torn games apart. So, yeah, potentially against someone like the Conqueror, you've got that capability, but it's definitely like, this is completely feels like switched up for SMG. It's a very fast-paced lineup.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, a little cooldown reliant, of course, with the Golem and the Ravage, but other than that, they're going to be able to go at most stages of the game. As well, one of the big things that we talk about whenever we see the Kunkka going up against any kind of enemy mid laner, if you got that armor advantageous matchup, you're going to be in a good spot. This time around, Gyrocopter, he's got a healthy amount of armor. I believe it's 6 at level 1. 7, actually. I think that might just be rounding, but still
Prepare
looking pretty
for
good.
battle.
Well, how are we feeling about this draft here? We believe in the SMG draft, or are we a fan of a potential 2-0 for Motivate?
It's going to be on the back of Rogi. If he gets caught out, then it should be a pretty easy win for Motivate, but just the insane amount of burst potential that they do have on SMG, provided that they're able to get the initial stun onto Masaros so that he can't use the press the attack to remove that fatal bonds, might be enough to be able to turn it around for them. I'm hoping that we see a bit of a different build come out here from mid one. I don't want to see no Acro Saber. You need that Ag Scepter ASAP.
What do you mean? I want to see the Echo.
No. Get it out.
Oh, that's a shame. Cool item.
It is.
It's
not an Avoid Spirit.
What's with that net worth graph right now? Why there's a bunch of stairs?
What do you mean?
Well, if you take a look at the net worth, there's stairs.
Stairs?
Yeah, the graph.
The battle
I don't know what's going on.
begins.
Don't ask me.
Do you mean Lena and Warlock having less? Is that what you meant? Or because I can't see stairs.
Are you looking at the team net worth graph?
Oh, the team net worth graph.
Well, now it's going back up because of bounty, but like...
I thought you meant in the top left corner. Nope. I got nothing.
God damn it, god damn it. Alright, well, bounty room rise was a 2 for 2, so even in that regard, do we feel like it's going to be, because you were saying Nia is more likely going to fulfill that carry role this game, do we believe it's going to be a physical build then? Because we do see often that if the Gyro is mid, he'll go for like that magic orientated.
I think a Maelstrom is still needed, just because you want to be able to dish out a lot of AoE damage in these team fights pre-BKB, and he's going to be able to get that kind of early on. And then just go into the Aghanim Scepter, Satanic beyond that. But you need that initial little bit of burst to be able to snowball past this laning stage. Just make sure you're coming online and actually getting the objectives before those BKBs are available.
We've got a tri-lane at the top here for Motivate, and Arfu will be your first blood. We've seen previously, it was Boom, I believe, that played this Lunar. It was in an aggressive tri-lane. This time for Motivate, they're holding a bit of a defensive tri-lane to start.
No, you don't. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
I gotta have a look at just Fearless's heroes. Like, how many heroes have we seen that are at least like platinum tier so far on him? It's kind of nuts.
My guy plays a little bit too much Dota, I think. KP? He's gonna die as well. So this tri-lane for Motivate is already starting incredibly well. Now they're about to hit their level 2s, and it's just gonna get even more difficult.
And they're able to get these kills even without an Orb of Venom on Lionax. So it's just on the nice stuns coming through from Q. It's got a decent amount of regen, so it didn't opt to go for the mana drain. Just the double stun lockdown is going to be really nice. KP, just TP back here.
Oh no, not like this. So got the Hex. Great LSA from Arfu though. We'll give KP a little bit better positioning. They still have the beam, and Jackie will pick up his second kill. So use that beautiful emote too.
I hate it. I hate it so much. It's the worst one in the game.
It's great when they're winning. Oh. How do you lane here?
You don't.
Full time. Ooh, okay, oh, never mind. No! I'm more right click, Lionax.
Roger.
Finally.
But you've lost 4 kills. You have to walk back to the lane again.
Absolutely not.
He might die if someone gets hit. No, Shadow Word expired. Never mind.
I wonder if they're going to try and make something happen. You know, wait for the TP to come through from the Lena, wherever he is. Yeah, Arfu comes to the top side. They spot it out. Do they now rotate down to try and get a kill onto mid one? You get the pull off first by Q. Nicely done. Roger scouted it out though. Let's see, ET running all the way back to base. Up an early infused raindrops. Nicely done.
So we are not worrying too much about all the other lanes. We feel like it's all the action going to be top, no pick-off potential, maybe, or I should say no solo kill potential, maybe mid or bot.
Radiant structures are
Yeah, maybe.
fortified.
I just feel like you've got such strong lanes all throughout on Motivate that kills can happen anywhere right now, and we're seeing again the return of the big bracer build on Fearless this time, not an offlaner build, but you know. Luckily enough for SMG, it's not the one that gives magic resist anymore. Remember how busted that was?
So stupid. Everyone was just going bracer, bracer, bracer. It's like, yes, fun. Now we're seeing that on some position 3s. Maybe it's back. Who knows? Sam H is loving it.
Alright. Roger moving up here has certainly stemmed the bleeding. You know,
Mid one, no, you don't want to get solo killed. Masteros in a matchup is able to bring down mid one's Void Spirit. And back up the top we go. Arthur's in trouble, and Arthur's going to get brought down plus 127 damage for Lion Axe's Elder Titan. And this is 7 kills, and honestly, they might just make it an 8th. Not even 5 minutes into this game, Motivate are completely running over the lanes. They're even going to TP in mid one up top, so they have had enough.
I must
Finally,
forgive you for being
we'll see a
only what you are,
bigger
the
rotation
sun.
come through. They need to dissolve how the lanes are looking.
they're on the board, baby. They get the first kill onto mid one, realizing, you know what, I'm not getting anything near enough out of this bot lane against this pesky Legion commander. Probably one of the worst heroes that you could 1v1 into in the entire game. That's why I did like the rotation coming through from the Warlock, actually. You know, it leaves the Void Spirit alone, but at least you got the Fatal Bonds to be able to dish out a lot of return damage through. Up against a tri-lane, it's always going to be great. But it was too late, you know, you'd already given up 4 kills at that point. Still capable of diving you with the tier 1 tower. Actually getting a kill there. Alright, nicely done by Nia. Again, mid lane going well for him.
Second kill of the game for SMG. That's kind of hype. Yeah, we saw what Nia could do last game. I mean, the Void Spirit did play really well, regardless of whether we weren't a fan of one of the items or not. But he's still...
This is big for Nia. He's been able to bottle up the haste rune. Afu, he's kind of caught in the river in no man's land a little bit here. Underneath vision that this Sentry Ward is providing, maybe just wanting to wait until that Wraith Band at least gets delivered to his Nia. Might look to shove out this lane a little bit here and then make a rotation up to help that top side with the Fatal Bonds coming through from Rogi. Fearless, though, making sure that doesn't happen. Forcing the wave right back up underneath the tower. He's going to go back, farm up his creeps again. You know, they're not going to be all that worried right now.
It's a bit unfortunate when you're trying to stalk in the trees and they just drop an Observer Ward dead on your head.
That's in pretty
The solo
deep.
experience that mid one has got is allowed to level 6, but it's going to miss the Remnant, unfortunately. Still, another jump in, Q. Should be okay now. They're even going to think about TPing Mastros in case of a further dive occurs, but
Cancelled.
it will be cancelled.
Stick it down here. They were saying, you know what, Fatal Bonds, it's wearing out. We're not all that concerned. Max might pay with his life for this. Q's at least going to get away, though.
Like, no, don't catch me, please.
Dyer's
That's a
structures are fortified.
7-minute Midas on your Luna. Jackie's
Dyer's
all
top
in.
tower is under attack.
Very nice scaling coming through from your Luna already. Going for probably a couple more points than I would have expected as this Luna before we saw how the lanes turned out. But of course, with the trial, you always want the additional kill potential. 2 points in Lucid Beam is the real value.
Dyer's top tower has fallen.
But they're able to get a tower at least in response here. Mastros, he's done a decent time of pressuring down to this bottom side, but doesn't have anywhere near as much threat of dying KP against an LC. Although you compare the levels, level 4 Tide Hunter versus a level 8 LC.
Oh, no. Time from Fearless. Should be able to stop if they drag him back. No, Fearless. I mean, if he dragged him back, he would have missed the combo. He's going to miss the kill anyway. So...
Haste rune coming in clutch. Picks this one up.
Yeah.
Oh. He doesn't keep going, does he?
Attack!
Oh, he's out of mana. Has to use the bottle charges. These haste is now expired.
Yep.
They're going to use the Tidebringer off the illusion as well. Even mid one's going to show up somehow. Nia will end up falling afterwards. And now Mastros is looking to get involved. They don't have the X on mid one. They will not be able to try and find that drag back into a potential duel victory. So meanwhile, top tower is actually fallen, and KP is also getting some catch up as well.
It's a long way to come from, though. He's still 3 levels behind his opposing offlaner. And, well, using that time, it's normally the Luna that would be taking this, but Fearless, he's having another good game in that mid lane, being able to take this Ancient stack for himself. He's going straight into that Sanch.
Bounty!
He's getting a little bit too keen. You know, it was a great play with the haste rune to be able to...
Oh, Jackie.
Oh, no.
And look at that rocket barrage damage maxed out. We'll drop the Eclipse. Sure, it's going to hold back the Gyrocopters. Now, they won't have the damage to kill off Nia. I think it was mainly just to protect the Luna, but unfortunately, it's going to cost them both their lives.
A rare instance where the supports aren't backing up their cores on Motivate. Just wanting to be able to turn around a lot of these kill responses that are coming through from SMG. Q about nearly reaching his level 6 mark. Sort of thing with Lion Axe, soaking up in the mid lane. And I mean, when you've got this SMG roster that you know is going to want to run into you very shortly, Doroji purchases up the tome that's going to hit it around the 10-minute mark. You want that Earth Splitter to be able to turn around in response.
Here, again, looking to kill on Fearless. Fatal Bonds is out on a couple. Is it great?
Mastros is in team.
Off the fight, and Mastros as well gonna get caught out. So SMG, once again, is able to find themselves 2 very, very impactful kills, and hopefully leading that into a tier 1 town mid.
Little sloppy coming through from Motivate. You know, they give up. No, the Conquer kill is just a little bit of poor positioning, but Mastros, I think, just having a little bit too much faith in his team. They've got the Siege Creep as well, so they're going to continue trying to push in this tower. Have to be cautious, though. Mid-one doesn't have much on the mana front. Fearless comes back in. Tries to get the torrent off. Not going to be enough, but I believe that's a Witchblade now finished for the Void Spirit, so... Gonna give him some decent scaling as well. Good damage, good amount of control in the early game.
Still trying to see what Nia wants to opt for this game as well. He's going Quid. Okay, so it looks like he's in on the magic build, which means Radiant are not going to scale well into the late game. And if you don't keep catching out Jackie's Luna, then this Midas farm is going to skyrocket.
Yeah, gotta make sure you're coming online. Actually taking a lane of barracks before... well, see you later, Nia.
Split up, Finger of Death eventually into the duel. Some plus charges for both the Lion and the Legion Commander.
Cancelling out the TP as well was the leader. They would have spotted that out as well. So they know that wherever Afu shows, just go to the other side of the map. You can have a decent time. But yeah, those BKBs now are such a key timing. Every single death on the Gyrocopter feels like, honestly, given the way that he's itemizing, worth about 2 deaths against most other core heroes.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Do we feel like Radiant... Yeah, okay. I was going to say, do you want to see them come back mid to keep playing aggressively? Because they have all their ultimates, and...
They gotta use
Jackie going Midas, yeah.
Making a TP down here.
Mid one's going to miss another Remnant. Great use of the body. Blocks Fearless from being able to retreat to that sliver of the tree line. But now 2 heroes are going to show down bot. Meanwhile, mid, Rock, along with Fatal Bonds, clipping them. But that is now...
Nothing happened.
Golem on cooldown.
Yeah. No Golem, no Bonds for 15 seconds, and Fearless, he's happy to go in and fight. No boat, which is going to hurt a little bit, but I feel like you're A-okay with this one. On reduced kill threat, just give more time for that Midas to come up off cooldown. Using the Golem to scout a little bit here, so they should at least get the tier 1 tower.
Mid one.
Tell he wants to Astral step in, you can just see.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
Gold for my
Astros
chest.
Come here, let me get a jewel.
He's hungry. The sleep onto the gyro. It's not enough. Not the higher priority target right now.
How aggressive he can play. Like, they got punished, and Radiant very reactionary with how they start these fights. It's Ravage, Golem. It's kind of the Void Spirit that can really only do it, but without a setup for the Remnant and with how fast the Legion can move, it's very awkward.
Who could they
look
catch
at the
out?
positioning from Q.
Yeah, again.
Oh, that is on point. Mid-one might still jump, but he will. Quick X, not enough. Mastros nearby. But the Dispel will not be able to give Q the distance. Really doesn't matter though, it feels like, because that is a great pop of the smoke. It means that they weren't able to find Jackie's Luna, who's continuing to get a little bit of farm. Fearless as well on the Conker. He's getting closer to his BKBR for the Sunj.
Alright, that's exactly what he needs. He needs to be the one soaking up a lot of this early damage coming through. Masaros as well. He's going to be able to help the rest of his team with that pipe being built up for himself. Luna, can go a little bit more of this greedy style with the Yasha, with the farming build. So things still looking quite nice for Motivate right now with their scaling potential. And mid one, he's going into the Ags next. I like it.
There you go. This time they don't get the quick start to the fight. The rotation's gonna be fast enough with the Alliance. Gyrocopter's not dead just yet. And they all group up for a 3-man Ravage. Fatal Plunge links them together as well. They'll lose Q, and they will lose their secondary support there. Motivate just unable to have that perfect execution to bring down Nia's Gyrocopter.
Didn't end up popping the Finger of Death either, and of course no LC being there means that rotation potential is always going to be so much stronger.
Ooh, bounty!
Dire's
of
top
the
tower
dual
is under attack.
owner, Masaros, having to force to retreat back as they were eyeing him up a little bit there. I do like the Witchblade. Like, I was thinking maybe that might have been a small reason they were going to go in, misses it, going into the Echo Saber because it provides that little bit of an extra slow, a tiny bit more teamfight control, but I mean, Witchblade provides that so much better for a Void Spirit in my mind, and it's always going to scale because it's based off of the intelligence that you have for the later game damage.
Ravage on cooldown from KP.
Oh, it's not though.
Very tanky with the hood. See if mid-one's able to jump the supports again. Through a lot of their control and a lot of their burst damage is what a golem buns! Again, Ford's gonna get linked. This time, Rochi dropping it onto multiple heroes, and they're gonna force Motivate further back defensively out of the tower. A buyback will come through for the line. It's gonna try and opposite burst potential throughout the duel. Mastros unable to get the victory. Even Jackie's gonna look to show up as well. But it's only 3 points in the beam and 1 in the eclipse, so the damage is minimal at best.
Even the buyback being used by Q, not able to turn it around with that dual damage victory, so not even getting the scaling from that particular engagement shows how important it is for the Kunkka to have that BKB available. I know it's Motivate style to kind of go a bit more aggressive than other teams are expecting. They always want to make sure that they can get on the front foot, say, okay, they're not going to come into us, they don't have their timings yet, but Motivate, without fear, they do it anyway. I think now though, just because of how that team fight went underneath a tier 2 tower, they still weren't able to come out the victors. Fearless, he needs this little bit of extra farm. You need to try and create space for him. What? Are they going to turn around here?
You're saying Fearless needs farm, and it's actually going to need some support help, and he's very difficult to bring down though. 2400 HP. Got to keep in mind about the effective
Radiant are scanning.
survivability as well with that pressy attack from Masteros.
Yeah, for sure. When he builds up the pipe as well, that's going to be a big reduction in SMG's damage potential. Of course, from the active, but even just the passive 10% resistance. All of their damage right now is magic. There is very little in terms of physical. So it's a bit of a trade-off. SMG, they want to keep the pressure on. You've got the Ravage available, Fatal Bonds. It's going to be enough to dish out a lot of damage. I'm actually kind of surprised that he's got the 3 points into the upheaval. Haven't seen too many instances of a long channel coming through onto it. Fatal Bonds feels like what they need to be able to dish out the burst, but you can't fault too much about how Roger's positioned himself in the game.
No, you can't. There's been some solid ability use here for the Warlock. We're hoping to see even better ultimates drop, because either team got some pretty strong combinations if they can use it in the choke point. Like that's the big issue. You can tank up through the burst, then turn with the team fight. That's where Radiant are going to be able to thrive through with the Ravage, with the Rock, you know, cooldown dropped as well. With Dire, they're the ones that need this quick burst. And
It's a long game.
sometimes they're on cooldown.
Dire's top
Used it too
tower
early.
is under attack.
KP unable to get the hood off, and KP's going to lose his life. Jackie, just that extra level in the beam and the Eclipse solo targeting the Tide Hunter. This time will be able to have an effect.
Nice group up together. It's what we were expecting, right? Like we were talking about in the draft. Like you see this much more farm-oriented build, which means that you can't take these earlier team fights. That's why it was so important for him to go the Midas this time around. His team made space for him. And even Masaros actually, is he in trouble here? Has to be careful about his positioning. He's got his supports behind him.
LSA, Laguna Blade, plenty. Great use of the start there from mid one. And he is also getting very close to the Aghanims too, 4-1 and 9. And once they get these Aghanims,
Dire's
that
top
8-way
tower
silence
is under attack.
is really going to cause a lot of chaos for the supports on the backline, which again, you see the importance of either team's support this game.
Oh, he's not going to drag him up to the high ground, is he? That would have been tilting for that 8th Remnant.
They want to target
Down.
Roger or the Void.
Radiant structures
They use the X and the combo on the Warlock.
Dire's top tower
They use the
is under
double
attack.
Earth Spike, but looks like Q is... Well, when you're not on the high ground with the rest of your team, line you can fall with ease.
And that was his dieback timer as well, so he's dead for the next 50 seconds. Still about 400 gold away from that Blink Dagger. He's so huge for the turnaround potential. Allow him to play that little bit further back. You were just talking about the Aghanim Scepter on mid one. Then you're going to use it to punish Massacre. A bit of trouble on this top side, even with the Hood of Defiance. He's going to drop down. He went away from the pipe as well. He's going into the Solar Crest. I don't mind it, particularly because Fearless is able to pick up his BKB. Jackie, he moved away from going the SMY. He picked up a BKB for himself as well. So essentially the only one that should be in a lot of trouble in terms of their positioning is Lionax, because he doesn't have a Blink Dagger. He doesn't have a BKB for himself until, you know, later on we've seen him pick up an Aghanim Scepter even on this this position 5 ET. But everyone else is going to be able to withstand the magic burst provided they can get off their item.
It does feel like it's one of his comfort heroes as well for Lionax. We've seen him have some incredible performances in the lower division, and you know, since then a lot of teams have started to respectfully ban it out.
Close are we to some of these items? It feels like, yeah, Masteros, he's going to go to this top side. A couple of waves coming in. That should be able to finish up his Solar Crest. You can see Q not being the active support that he normally is. He needs this Blink Dagger for himself. Even, you know, like, how often do you see someone like Jackie go past a creep camp that was available to be taken away? It's only 150 gold away, though. You can afford to do this. It's going to provide you with so much more priority. Hell, look, even Fearless on his Conquer, he made sure that that creep wave, that neutral camp was super low, with only a couple of right clicks needed to be able to take it down, but can SMG punish before these items come through, especially now that they've got the Aghanim Scepter delivered on mid one?
This dire ward though around mid is giving them so much information. Like, it's just making it really difficult, because we've seen, do you want to start on KP? I don't know, that's difficult to break down. Roger's going to get dropped as well. He wants to back on it to 3-man silence, but KP will fall. He's going to buy back if he wants to try and look to rejoin the fight here, but the Echo Sun to the northern side. Where's the extra follow-up and where's the extra damage? Mid one, he's going to be okay, but it looks like it's a Delta split. As Motivate, they're happy with the pick-off they got. They
Dire's bottom tower
they're going to
is
lose
under
Lionax. They might not if there's no detection. Oh no, mid one's got a gem. He should be able to catch up. There we go.
Still though, very happy with that. Able to take out KP. I believe you got the dual damage from that as well. It was level 12 as well on the LC, so plus 20. Rock used, cooldown used. It did require a couple of BKBs being popped by Motivate, but I still think they're totally cool with that. And importantly, Q wasn't picked off before he was able to pick up that Blink Dagger. So now he's got that available. You've got the Solar Crest. So much more damage potential and turnaround right now from Motivate.
We do see it's quite a neck and neck game here for our second one of the series, but it's... Do we both feel like Motivate heading to the later stages are probably favored?
Yes. Quite clearly for mine.
So then it's really going to put SMG on that timer. Like, we've seen how aggressive they've been posturing, though, constantly on the enemy's side of the map here. But they just haven't... The issue is like, how do you start fights on Radiant? Now you've got a blink on KPs. Maybe you can drop a Ravage, but like, it's so awkward for you to be able to get a blink in, pick off, and it's allowing Motivate just to not get punished. And well, without a pick off, then Radiant can't take objectives. They're trying now with Roche.
Position from mid one.
Great spot for him. He'll pop the smoke. They're all grouped up as well. If mid one wants to jump, KP can follow up. He's even trying to get in the same position around that northern high ground spot. Roche is about to fall. He's on top of the backside. KP will damage as well, but the BKB is going to get popped. Pro support's going to end up falling, but Mastros is just getting chunked down. Nia with the gyrocopter is now online. Trying to look to reset die. They don't have any buybacks, so they're going to have to give this one up. As SMG's positioning and vision game is going to be allow them to take 3 kills and also take Roshan as well.
Another bit of a mistake coming out there from Masaros, not using the active on the Hood of Defiance, just to give him that little bit of extra survivability that he needs to get off the second, press the attack in that team fight. He has a full whip as well, so he's incredibly fast when that overwhelming odds buff is available onto him, but ends up getting picked off instead, and you just see, without him, they just can't take a fight. They're still so worried about the Fatal Bonds. Fearless, he might be getting caught out here. He'll get away.
They had rock, but I still think that kill is pretty difficult.
Yeah. Just TP back here, Masaros. Gotta be careful. Actually going for the duel.
He's got the finger of death now. This is where the rock's going to be able to come into play with the Eclipse drop as well. They won't be able to get the duel victory, but it's important that they bring him down the first time. Can they do it a second though? Motivate.
Jackie's
so
slow.
Difficult to reset with the upheaval. It's level 4. Jackie, BKB back up. Scotty just completed it as well. They're going to blink on forward. They need to get to try and protect Nia, but he doesn't have help. Oh, the Glimmer! Nia back to safety. BKB Fearless, he's still hunting. Mid wants disrupting the backline as well. A 1-for-1 trade at the moment. Might be able to catch out Arfu. He'll sidestep the Echo Stomp. Great use of the defensive factors though. Warlock, that Shadow Word, Glimmer Cape, just enough to keep Nia alive.
And even KP just throwing his big beefy body in the way. Takes away the attention. 3 heroes focusing onto him. Allows him to get away on this gyrocopter. And again, the gyro is your scaling potential. He's had to go the BKB a bit earlier on, as opposed to that Acceptor, so the damage isn't quite there. Whew. I mean, things might go a little bit more in your favor once these BKBs are super low on Motivate, right? And it's going to depend on when Raji actually uses the Fatal Bonds, because it feels like it's going to be mid-one's job to try and force out a couple of those early BKBs through onto the Kunkka and the Luna, because right now, so much of your damage is reduced just by the single press of a button. You know, that already is removing 2 Fatal Bonds targets, press the attack's going to remove another one. It's rough, and it feels like they're very lacking, even with all these high effective cooldowns. There we go.
Rock? No, cooldown.
That's one good bait, though. It's been used. Down to 6 seconds.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Jackie? Your own down here.
Jackie?
Why did you
Alright.
That is a mistake we do not see often from Jackie.
And what do you know? Mid one plays a more active hero. Beyond God, like 10, 1, and 10 right now. Score looks like binary.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Poor old Motivate now. Don't keep losing some objectives without having the loot. Our mid's gonna end up falling.
There's that scary high ground, though. It's been the bane of their existence 3 times now, SMG, against different opponents. And, well, KP, he doesn't care. He's going to be the one to throw himself in onto the backlines. He's stunned up, but this tower's doing a fair amount of damage as well.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
That Aghanim shot from Mastros is going to be really important here for them.
Oh, yeah. Enormous. Even preemptively being able to use it onto a Void Spirit, Aether Remnant combination.
Still holding this gem from Radiant is... I love how early they picked it up. Like, you just saw the vision was so important for Motivate. It always felt like they had tabs on SMG as soon as they were walking outside the base.
Have to wonder how wise it is trying to make a play like this. Motivate, they're very wisely sticking together. They're under their observer ward. It's all smoked up. Mid one's gonna pump it. They found him. Good win.
Get protects him. KP is gonna try to shot the back line with the rock drop as well. Double Ravage and controlling up Jackie with the burst, gonna come through with the blue blade. Jackie's falling low. Brutal turn. BKB eclipse drop, but he's unable to get any more life still back as Jackie will lose his life. Mastros unable to get in range to be able to protect him. It's a 2-for-1, but they might make it a 3-for-1 here from SMG. Motivate still in the area. They're pretty low on mid one. They've got to be careful. Mastros is looking to fight. Draws out. Fearless will chunk him down. That extra
Radiant's
attack
top
speed,
tower
Solar
is under
Crest,
attack.
AC, press the attack is enough to get something out of it.
And Mastros there, it was a good job by mid one to be able to zone him out. If he is there, if he's able to get that press the attack onto Jackie, he lives. He's able to
Dire's
turn
middle
around
tower is under
and get a
attack.
lot of that effectiveness in the team fight. But instead, it's still a decent trade for Motivate. Both teams, I don't want to say they're happy with how the game is going, but it's on a knife's edge at this point.
How's Nia's item progression? Is this the Ags?
It is.
Okay.
I was a little. That's why I was saying, like, do they want to take this team fight right now on SMG? Because he was level 19. He was about 700 gold away from finishing up that Ag Scepter, which might have been, you know, the difference from getting that kill in the end onto the Kunkka before he's able to be saved by Masaros.
Money
This movement speed going to do him a whole ton of work. Not needing the Rocket Barrage just yet on the Gyrocopter. Just wanting to impact his mobility in a lot of these team fights. Actually timing it well.
Mastros needs to get in range. BKB TP up, but Mastros is evaded.
The abyssal pain.
Oh, I don't know about this one.
Should be okay, but it did just cost you your Legion for that.
The extra Lucid Beam mini stun as well on Jackie here, realizing how important it is with, I mean, it's so stupid, 2.5 second cooldown on this. Stunning up for 1.2 seconds, dealing 400 damage. And he's even got the Lucid Beam shard. So just going to be dealing with people in that way.
Seems like it's quite the shard, doesn't it? Where are we rating it? A?
If you have the Enchanted Quiver, it's S. If it's anything else, it's probably a B+. Like, it's just like 700 burst damage essentially from the backlines, which is kind of crazy.
The lifesteal with it too is nuts.
Mm-hmm.
And he does have that Paladin sword, so this is going to be very, very important here for the Luna. Just potentially being able to stand her ground.
Guess what?
We see us.
He's got the Enchanted Quiver.
Oh no.
S tier, I'm telling you.
Oh no.
You just watch the backlines. Wherever he launches this Lucid Beam, watch how much damage the people take around it.
Phyllis has got to be careful how he... Yeah. And that X baited you into it last time.
Mm-hmm.
No. I'm intrigued to see if it does live up to the S tier, but he doesn't have any lifesteal now.
You got Masaros.
We'll see.
He is dual lifesteal essentially. Not lifesteal, but, you know, sustain.
Fearless again. Fu's not close enough this time. Fearless still going to take a while to get on the high ground, so he's going to have to pop the BKB pretty early. They missed the LSA, actually. Another look at turn. Rabbit, KP. All four on the high ground. Press the attack. Still on cool. I got to keep in mind. Jump in still on top of the backline with the rock dropped as well. Earthsplit have fallen off, but they've already lost 2. The damage starting to flow in through the tail end of that fight here for Motivate. A 1-for-2. Buybacks on all the supports. A lot committed as well, ultimate-wise and item-wise.
And you can commit all of this because they used everything on SMG that time. Rock used, Ravage used, Call Down, no Laguna Blade. You've still got the duel, you've still got your Finger of Death. Let's see what they're able to do with it. Do they go for the instant smoke? I feel like that's definitely the play.
Smoke it up. Oh, minus on cooldown.
You hate to see it.
You really do, Afu. There's no blink on Mastros. They got the X at least.
Oh, nice mid one.
Again, what a silence. In and out he goes.
Dieback as well.
Luna might be able to burst down a second.
Alright.
70. They're looking to continue on forward.
Afu's level 20.
I want to say Afu. Jules is falling really low. They'll use the press the attack instead. The Jules going to lock in the Tide Hunter. But there's no damage to dish out from KP. 1 for 1. You see those beams going to work here. Be careful. So much damage right now.
See, he's been using it onto targets that don't actually have anything nearby, so the glaives aren't able to bounce around onto anyone. That's the difference. That's why the Enchanted Quiver isn't having quite as much impact as we've been expecting. Just having that capability to poke and prod as well with that quiver is nice. The extra attack range that you get from it. You've already got such a low cooldown on your Lucent Beam because of the way that you've talented.
Feels like it's kind of the normal talent build now, right? With how nutty the shot is if you can scale.
It depends. Like, I feel like a lot of the times we do see people go the 8 stats, the attack speed. I feel like Lucent Beam mini stun is always going to be good just for that little bit of extra lockdown, but wisely enough as well, we have a attack built up for Jackie. You were talking about before how, you know, by getting rid of that Paladin sword, he's kind of left himself in the dust a little bit here, but he's going to start building up. Already picking up the Reaver, of course, comboing together with the S and Y is going to make that incredibly powerful. What's Fearless got coming out? Has he got the Paladin sword? Yeah, I was a little curious as to why he didn't have that at the pass fight. He was still holding on to the Elven Tunic, but with that Tide Hunter dealing out so much damage, he's going to be able to, you know, put himself back to a fairly decent amount of HP if they get the turnaround here. You scout out that Roche is up. You know where this is where the next fight needs to happen.
KP will lead.
Mid 1, mid 2. Oh, they got him!
They get caught! It goes to mid 1, brought down! He's going to buy back, instantly going to use it. Let's see if Motivate want to stick around for more. The gem down on the deck, KP. Builds on force, the big is on Kuda. They need the protection of the press.
Oh, the press!
Timing from Astros. Jackie's going to be able to reset here. And buyback's going to fall off as well. Jackie, can he stand his ground? Laguna played out. One fall-up slump with the LSA, and Jackie, he's unable to tank through the damage. They'll find a big kill on the Luna, and he bought out. He doesn't have a buyback now. And also end up falling as well. 2 deep of Motivate. 2 don't have buybacks.
Free Roche, easy money. That's all that SMG are needing right now. Mid 1, he's not needed at that Roche pit. He's hunting for more. Just shows this insane scaling that the Witchblade's able to, provide you. Getting that extra 150 kicking damage coming through from that. He's got the Kyron Sand, he's got the Vambrace to provide him with a little bit more, even going into the E-Blade after that. So there's going to be scenarios where you can just use the E-Blade, not kill him, and just walk away. KP's holding on to it.
Dire's middle tower is under
Give them
attack.
some siege. That is what they're lacking. I like it. I like it a lot, actually.
Okay, never mind.
I feel like it's good on KP. Warlock is amazing as well, but
Dire's middle tower
they need some way to siege, especially now that they know effectively that there's not going to be anyone buying back for this. Like the tower gets it for nothing. Minus 103 damage.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
It's just a pea shooter right now.
Dire's
He's
middle
got
tower
Orbit Destruction
has
as well
fallen.
on KP.
Dire's middle barracks are under attack.
That looks like it'll be at least the melee mid 1. Looking to jump and force some reactions.
Dire's middle barracks.
They finally taken some racks when they go onto the high ground. All it needs is 2 cores to be dead. So they're learning. This is good.
3 games in a row, maybe? Question mark? That would be so demoralizing heading into playoffs if you just threw 3 leads in a row.
Hey, you. Alright, level 25 on Nia as well. Those multiple charges onto the homing missile might force out a few not so ideal press the attacks coming through from Masaros.
Regeneration.
What's KP got here? Just got the casual plate
Dire's
mail
bottom
sitting in his
tower
quick
is
buy.
under attack.
Shh, what do we feel like this is more likely gonna
Dire's bottom
be?
tower has fallen.
I mean, the Lotus is going to be real nice against the lockdown that might be coming from the likes of the Lion. Lionax has been on point again, though. The amount of clutch echo stops that he's been able to get up has been amazing.
Trying to poke and
Dire's
prod.
bottom tower has fallen.
But Nia has done quite the job to be able to scale right now. Back-to-back games, the position 2 on SMG has been looking dominant. We'll see if they can bring him down the once. We'll see if they can bring it down the second time even as well. That's a tall order. Well, they'll try with the Eclipse.
Wind Waker.
They're going to be protected for the Wind Waker. Already got that picked up. So KP, on the connection, crack and show, instantly getting rid of it. It's now a lot of abilities forced out. Jackie's going to try and turn with the press attack to BKB popped as well. Aims the door to work here with the Glaives too. They'll find the Gyrocopter alive, and now they need to try and counter-initiate. KP's still got the Ravage. Can they force out anything big here? KP really far on the front line. There's Spike just shy, but the Echo Stomp. Nia still fighting shape at the moment. Where's that counter initiation?
Dire's bottom tower.
So waiting for the Ravage, and yeah, 2 full sets of barracks now claimed. SMG, all they lose is the Ages there.
And Jack, he would have been hating that. He was about 50 XP away from hitting up onto his level 25. Would have given him the confidence that they needed to try and take that fight. And now, too late. Going in the way of SMG. Lifesteal talent as well. I mean, it's good. It's already very good. Combined together with the SMY. They have that passive lifesteal coming through.
Jackie, BKB's on cooldown. And Mastros is a bit away. Doesn't have blink. And they're bursting Mastros needs to get the no! They've lost Jackie, they've lost Mastros too. This time, it doesn't look like SMG are gonna throw their lead. 2 down, no buybacks, make it a third. Triple for Nia, the double damage. They should rip through the buildings here. What a scaling potential on the Gyro. He turned up in this game.
Dire's middle tower.
See what they can do. I mean, ET to delay is incredibly strong. You won't have Legion buyback for 2 minutes 50. And you're not going to have Luna as well.
Dire's ancient is under
He can be
attack.
popped, but it doesn't matter. The G's are called an SMG. They're able to take their last game before the playoffs here, giving them a little bit of momentum to head into the lower bracket.
Once again, they give Nia the reins, and he takes it and makes a lot happen. A lot of that credit has to be given over to mid one, though.